Let's rank humanity's best and worst ideas now, shall we? The gun. The invention of the gun caused an instant major shift in power, leaving a lasting impact on humanity. A single trigger could decide or spark wars. Literally. It sorta caused World War I. Guns made hunting more effective and boosted personal protection, in turn strengthening societies and accelerating civilization through new law enforcement and defense methods. Indirectly, guns influenced innovations like aviation, engines, railroads, and safer bridges. Marksmanship evolved into a discipline beyond survival. However, guns also caused unprecedented casualties, turning many conflicts deadly instead of just injurious. They fueled colonial conquest, resulting in millions of deaths. The distance guns offer can dull the sense of guilt in taking life, which has been key in fueling the intensity of gang violence. Corporations as well profit heavily from gun demand, causing them to ignore these social vices. While guns enhanced security and technological progress, they also escalated crime, terrorism, oppression, violence, generational trauma, and loss of lives at an unfortunate scale. Ultimately, guns are both tools of protection and agents of destruction. Paper. Paper transformed how knowledge was recorded and shared, making writing more accessible, portable, and flexible than clay tablets or animal skins. It enabled libraries, books, literacy, and helped civilizations codify laws, preserve history, and pass ideas across generations. Religious, philosophical, and scientific texts endured through paper, advancing education, science, and governance. The renewability and biodegradability of paper has made it suitable for other great functions as well. Paper production, however, has driven deforestation, pollution, waste, and habitat destruction. It spread information and misinformation alike, and paper-based bureaucracy sometimes trap societies who want change in slow, rigid systems. As documents decay, their loss can erase identity, history, or property. Paper could authenticate rights, yet it also made forgery and fraud easier. The materiality of paper also limited how fast information could be updated or corrected, leading to delays or entrenched falsehoods. Access to paper and literacy created inequalities, empowering some while marginalizing or leaving others behind. Paper advanced human progress, but also caused great ecological strain and social complications. The camera. The invention of the camera revolutionized how humanity remembers the world. It reshaped communication, art, science, and social behavior by preserving wars, culture, and daily life in ways words could not. Photography democratized expression, allowing ordinary people, not just artists, to capture identity, emotion, and history. Cameras expanded creativity across journalism, fashion, and fine art, while also advancing science through medical imaging, space observation, and microscopic study. In phones and social media, they transform relationships, connect people instantly, and fuel activism by revealing truth and sparking global awareness. However, the camera's power has drawbacks. It threatens privacy through surveillance, exploitation, and unwanted exposure. Images can mislead when edited or taken out of context, weakening trust in journalism and public truth. Constant recording has led individuals to prioritize how their lives look rather than living their lives in the moment, harming well-being. Access to quality cameras is unequal as well, shaping who controls narratives. Cameras expose injustice, but can also endanger or be used as propaganda. So while the camera immortalizes truth and beauty, empowers voice as well as fosters human creativity, it can also complicate authenticity and privacy. Solid A. The car. The car revolutionized mobility. Travel became faster and more convenient, opening access to jobs, healthcare, education, and social life. It sparked major industries in manufacturing, oil, and repairs, bridged rural and urban distances, and inspired new engineering, safety systems, and road networks. Car culture enabled long-distance family visits, tourism, leisure, and shaped identity, freedom, and status. Yet cars drive air pollution, greenhouse emissions, and resource depletion, harming health and ecosystems. Congestion wastes time, raises stress, and reduces productivity. Car accidents are still among the leading causes of widespread loss of life. Car-centric planning fuels urban sprawl, weakens public transit, and marginalizes pedestrians and cyclists, deepening inequality. Landscapes are reshaped by highways and parking, reducing biodiversity. Ownership and infrastructure costs strain individuals and governments, and car culture promote individualism, consumerism, and environmental neglect. B. Electronic mail. The invention of email transformed communication, making it instant, global, and asynchronous. It accelerated decision-making, collaboration, and knowledge sharing, enabling remote work before it became mainstream as well as breaking geographic barriers. Email streamlines workflows, records conversations, and supports project coordination across cultures, fueling globalization and innovation. It also keeps families and friends connected, sharing stories and news instantly. By democratizing communication, email empowers civic engagement, activism, and education, giving anyone with internet access a voice. But the constant influx of messages, including spam, creates information overload, stress, distraction, and email fatigue, often burying important communications. Its asynchronous nature can lead to misunderstandings, as tone and context are easily lost, while delays may hinder urgent exchanges. Security and privacy are major concerns, with risks of hacking, phishing, and malware. Email's omnipresence, especially on mobile devices, blurs work-life boundaries, increasing stress and reducing well-being. Over-reliance on email can weaken face-to-face and verbal communication skills, foster curt or impersonal messaging, and hinder teamwork by promoting siloed interaction. Persistent spam wastes time and bandwidth, and digital inequality limits access for those without reliable internet or literacy, excluding them from social, educational, and professional opportunities increasingly reliant on email. Email connected the world across boundaries and time zones, instantly empowering individuals and organizations, but in turn blurred personal boundaries and diminished interpersonal nuances. B. Television. The invention of television revolutionized communication and culture, bringing moving images and sound into homes and reshaping how humanity learns, entertains itself, and perceives reality. With TV, news, debates, disasters, and celebrations could be witnessed by millions almost instantly, creating a more informed public and strengthening democratic awareness. Educational programs expanded access to knowledge, while broadcasts shared music, art, and ideas across borders. TV became cultural glue, uniting people through shared shows, sports, and stories, building community and offering comfort, escape, and creativity. But television also introduced complications. It encourages passive consumption, requiring less engagement than reading or discussion. Excessive screen time contributes to sedentary habits, reduced attention spans, and disrupted sleep, especially for children. The race for ratings drove sensationalized news, prioritizing emotion and exaggerated portrayals over depth and shaping public perception through spectacle rather than balanced facts. Hours spent watching can replace real interaction, weakening family bonds and social connection. TV shapes values and expectations, at times promoting stereotypes, materialism, and unrealistic ideals. As global networks expanded, dominant content overshadowed local culture and language. In some countries, TV even became a propaganda tool, centralizing influence and controlling public opinion. The Zeppelin. The Zeppelin pioneered the first era of controlled long-distance lighter-than-air flight. Zeppelins revolutionized early air travel by carrying passengers and cargo across long distances with comfort and smooth flight. Before modern airplanes, they enabled transcontinental journeys, scientific surveys, and even military reconnaissance and bombing in World War I. Their spacious cabins and endurance proved the possibility of large-scale aerial transport and briefly symbolized luxury and innovation. But their drawbacks outweighed their promise. Filled with fragile hydrogen, Zeppelins were slow, weather-vulnerable, and dangerously flammable. The Hindenburg disaster ended public trust almost instantly. Their massive size demanded costly hangars, large crews, and complex infrastructure, making operations expensive and impractical. As faster, safer airplanes emerged, airships became obsolete for travel, transport, and warfare. Militarily, they were easy targets for anti-aircraft fire and offered little defense. Storms, turbulence, and mechanical failures frequently disrupted flights, reducing reliability. Economically, maintaining them strained resources while technology quickly surpassed them. Zeppelins opened the sky, but their risks, costs, and limitations ultimately brought them back to the ground. The parachute. The primary benefit of the parachute is its life-saving function. It allows people who find themselves falling from great heights to slow their descent safely and survive situations that otherwise would be fatal, turning deadly falls into survivable landings. It reduced early aviation fatalities, making flight more accessible. In war, they transformed strategy, allowing airborne troops to drop behind enemy lines, enabling surprise attacks, and helping pilots escape damaged aircraft. Paratroopers became crucial in World War II and later conflicts. Beyond combat, parachutes sparked recreational industries like skydiving and base jumping, offering thrill, freedom, and pushing human boundaries. They also support rescue missions, astronaut safety, and emergency supply drops to remote areas. However, parachutes come with risks. Malfunctions, poor packing, and bad weather can be fatal, requiring strict safety standards, training, and costly equipment. Early designs were unreliable, and modern systems still demand high skill with little room for error. Military jumps expose troops to enemy fire and mislandings, while the mental stress of combat drops is significant. Recreational jumping can harm fragile environments, and thrill culture sometimes promotes dangerous behavior. The parachute revolutionized survival and exploration, but it remains a tool where risk and reward are tightly bound. Social media. The rise of social media transformed the globe at an unprecedented scale. It impacted almost every aspect of modern life. Its greatest ability is connecting billions worldwide in an instant, allowing people from different backgrounds collaborate. Families across continents stay connected through social media, and communities mobilize around causes instantly. It democratizes information, letting anyone share ideas without gatekeepers. Activism and political engagement accelerate as people organize, raise awareness, and amplify marginalized voices. Businesses gain marketing reach, influencers build new economies, and education expands through online groups and live streams. Creativity flourishes as artists and creators reach global audiences, trends spread rapidly, and support communities form for the isolated or unheard. Yet the costs are significant. Heavy use links to anxiety, depression, loneliness, and low self-esteem, fueled by comparison and curated lifestyles. Algorithms amplify emotional, sensational content, forming echo chambers that polarize societies and spread misinformation. Privacy erodes through data collection, surveillance, and breaches. Social media can both empower and manipulate democracies through bots, propaganda, and opinion distortion. Relationships suffer from shallow interaction and distraction, shortening attention spans and weakening communication skills. Traditional media struggles to survive, and a culture of virality and performativity pressures users to maintain online personas, causing burnout. Ethical dilemmas persist around free speech, harmful content, and cyberbullying. Culture spreads globally through social media, but it also creates niches and localized subcultures, causing a double-edged effect where cultures are both united and fragmented. In other words, social media helped unite the world while also pulling humans further apart. The compass. The compass shaped the expansion of civilizations, global interaction, and the very way humanity understands geography and movement across the Earth. The compass provided reliable direction independent of stars or landmarks, making long-distance travel possible in any weather or time. It opened oceans to safe navigation, expanding trade routes and enabling global exploration that connected continents and transformed the world economy. Armies and navies gained strategic precision, empowering empires and maritime dominance. Overland travel improved as caravans crossed deserts and forests with confidence, boosting migration, cultural exchange, and resource discovery. It advanced science too, fueling accurate maps, maps, geographic knowledge, and research into magnetism. Yet the same navigation that enabled discovery also drove colonization, displacement, and cultural erasure of indigenous peoples, contributing to cultural eradication, slavery, and social upheaval. Global reach intensified imperial rivalries, prolonged wars, and economic dependency of local populations on foreign powers. Early compasses were prone to magnetic errors and misuse, and over-reliance sometimes led to disastrous voyages. Traditional navigation skills and environmental knowledge were marginalized, eroding cultural heritage. Compass-driven exploration accelerated resource extraction, environmental degradation, and disruption of ecosystems. Militarily, it enabled conquest and domination, giving powers technological and strategic advantage over less equipped societies. While it advanced mapping and science, the compass's legacy is tied as much to human suffering, conflict, and ecological harm as to innovation and curiosity. Smartphones. Human life changed after these gems got introduced. They brought the concept of technological convergence to life. Y'all remember this picture? Well, everything in it can now fit inside your pocket. Guys, not literally, come on. I meant thanks to a smartphone. Smartphones revolutionized communication, making connection instant, global, and multimedia rich. They provide pocket-sized access to information, support remote work, education, navigation, banking, and entertainment, becoming essential tools for productivity and daily life. Cameras enable quick content creation, and apps expand opportunities in business, healthcare, and transportation worldwide, especially where infrastructure is limited. The downsides, however, are substantial. Excessive screen use fuels anxiety, addiction, shorter attention spans, sleep problems, and declining mental health. Constant notifications fracture focus. Privacy is threatened as devices store sensitive data vulnerable to surveillance and exploitation. Social skills erode as digital interaction replaces face-to-face connection, weakening empathy and feeding cyberbullying, misinformation, comparison culture, and isolation. Visual overload has also desensitized many viewers, reducing significant events. It's so easy to scroll past suffering, death, or beauty without full understanding or attention. Economic and environmental costs rise through exploitative labor, resource extraction, and mounting e-waste driven by rapid device turnover. Smartphones also weaken memory, navigation ability, and critical thinking by encouraging reliance on apps and quick answers. Work-life boundaries blur, leading to stress and burnout despite increased convenience. The smartphones may have its issues, but it enriched the lives of humans, no doubt. No too much talk on this one. S tier. Video games. Video games undeniably reshaped culture, technology, and social interaction worldwide, creating one of the most influential mediums of the late 20th and 21st centuries. It transformed entertainment by replacing passive viewing with interaction. Players make choices, solve problems, and shape stories, engaging mind and emotion more actively than film or books. Gaming sharpens reflexes, spatial awareness, strategy, creativity, and decision-making through challenge and instant feedback. Games and simulations can teach history, science, language, and technical skills by letting users learn through action instead of memorization. Training tools for pilots, surgeons, and engineers rely on game-like models to build expertise safely. Gaming also builds global communities. Online multiplayer connects friends across borders, while esports turned competition into careers and mass audiences. For many, games offer escape, identity, and belonging. Gaming is a massive industry as well, driving innovation in graphics, AI, VR, and interactive design. Games got its cons too, though. Many titles are engineered for compulsion. Rewards, notifications, progression loops, encouraging excessive play that harms focus, sleep, and real-life responsibilities. Overuse can fuel addiction, social withdrawal, and emotional dependency. Sedentary screen time contributes to poor posture, eye strain, and reduced physical activity. Violent content raises concerns about desensitization and aggression, and online spaces often include harassment, cheating, and toxicity that discourage participation. Monetization systems like loot boxes and microtransactions exploit compulsive spending, sometimes blurring into gambling, especially for minors. Gaming builds community, yet can also isolate if virtual interaction replaces real connection. Not to mention, the potential of video games as learning tools is often underutilized or overshadowed by entertainment-focused titles. Without proper guidance, excessive recreational gaming can displace academic priorities. And this is obviously not great for the kids. LOL.